Hello and welcome everyone. This is Professor Siddharth Surana. I hope you guys are doing good और मैं तो हमेशा मस्ती रहता हूँ. Welcome to lecture number 1 in CA Final Direct Tax crash course applicable for May 25 and November 25 exam. Let us begin with an introduction of how we are going to do this crash course. This crash course is for CA Final subject direct tax. Now it is your first paper in group 2. This will be applicable for May 25 and November 25 exams. The previous year 24-25 and the assessment year applicable obviously is 25-26. This crash course will be based on the Finance Act of 2024. You need to understand that the Finance Act of 2024 will be applicable for previous year 24-25, assessment year 25-26, that is your May 25 and November 25 exams. In this, not just the interim budget presented by the finance minister in the month of February, the outgoing finance minister, interim budget obviously is going to be covered, but there wasn't any amendment as far as direct tax is concerned in the interim budget. And we will also be covering the new budget brought by the new finance minister, who coincidentally happens to be the same finance minister as the old finance minister. The new budget was introduced by the finance minister in the parliament on 23rd of July 2024. Obviously, then it underwent the process of becoming the Finance Act, and all the amendments that were introduced in the new budget on 23rd of July 2024 will also be covered. While we are doing this crash course, it is my humble suggestion to all the students that in this budget, the new budget 2024 Finance Act, the Finance Act number 2 presented by the new government, finance minister is same, but that budget has brought some massive amendments, massive amendments. For example, your chapter like capital gains, a complete change in the tax rates of long-term capital gain, in your stock market provisions, massive change, removal of indexation, but indexation has taken a backdoor entry. So all those things are a part of this new financing. Apart from that, in the chapter TDS, in a lot of sections, the tax rates, the deduction rates, the TDS rates have changed. There have been massive changes in the new taxation regime, tax rates as well. So, while students want to always go for the crash course to save their time, this time it is my humble suggestion. We are presenting the crash course because it is demanded by the students. But if you were to take my opinion, I humbly request you to go for the full course. I have the full course in multiple variants. I will explain to you the difference between full course and crash course so that you understand why this time I strongly recommend that if possible, try and go for the full course instead of the crash course, because the real justice in explaining those amendments I will be able to do only and only if you are going for the full course. In the crash course, we are obviously crashing your duration of explanation. So, if we have your full course for 220 hours, in the crash course, we complete your syllabus in about 120 hours. So, do you realize we have to cut down on explanation of roughly 100 hours, which is why the detailed explanation of every concept, every logic in our regular full course, we discuss why was this section introduced, the logic of the section. Nothing is bigger than logic. But unfortunately, because of shortage of duration in the crash course, we are sometimes unable to discuss the logic. So, one more time I say this. If you were to ask me, sir, what should we go for? I will suggest you to go for the full course. However, if you still want to go for the crash course, how the full course and crash course are different from each other, let us try and understand. First difference is in the duration. The crash course will be only about 120 hours. As far as language is concerned, the full course is also available in English language and the crash course will also be available in English language. I do not have words to thank students of South India who have given me so much love over the years. So much love. Today, roughly 80 to 90% of South India is learning from my lectures, and they always request, sir, we want lectures in English language. And therefore, being the first faculty in the country who launched lectures in 2 languages, Hindi English mix for North Indian students and only English lectures for South Indian students, yes, I have for you the full course as well as the crash course in English language. As far as the amendments are concerned, as I said, we will be discussing amendments of the new budget of 2024, including the new budget brought by the new government. All the amendments in the full course are covered in detail with the provision, with the section, with the logic, what was the objective of the finance minister. But as far as the crash course is concerned, we will be covering the amendments. There is not any amendment which won't be covered in the crash course, but we will be discussing only the change that has taken place. So what was the law last year and what is the law this year? We cannot be going into the detailed explanation of logic, but yes, the amendments are going to be covered. So if you want to know the reason behind introduction of the amendment, then again, as I said, full course is advisable. Also, I must say one more thing, that supposingly you are learning the law for the first time, you are learning direct tax for CA final for the first time, you have never studied before, then the crash course, to be very honest, is very, very dangerous for you. Please, it is my humble request, go for the full course to save your, at least the cost part. I have got some suggestion in the full course as well. I will come to that very soon. But yes, amendments will be covered in the full course as well as the crash course, but the quantum of coverage is going to be different. As far as solving of question answer is concerned, in full course, we solve roughly 420 to 430 questions in the class itself, which is why we have 220 hours of lectures. We always do all the question solving in class. However, in the crash course, we can only discuss the provision. Unfortunately, because of shortage of time, we cannot be solving questions in the crash course. But those who still want to go for crash course and practice question answer with me also, I have this very, very good option, that whatever recording of questions we have done in the full course, those recordings are separately available as a question and answer course. So your theory you are learning from the crash course, but question answers lectures we will take from the full course. And then while buying the crash course, you have two options. You can buy with question answer or without question answer. If you buy with question answer, then all the questions that are done in this part of the full course will also be provided to you if you take the crash course with the question answer. Otherwise, you can only go for the crash course. That is your choice. As far as coverage of concepts is concerned, whether the important concepts or the other concepts, whether the important chapters or the other chapters, whether it is a chapter like TDS, transfer pricing or PGBP, or whether it is a chapter like tonnage tax scheme or board for advance ruling, everything is covered in detail in the full course. You do not have to refer to any other material if you go for the full course. However, as far as the crash course is concerned, I want to make the crash course a smart course, because I don't want a situation that if you are going for the crash course, then most of the things you have not studied only. So what I do is, whatever concept requires detailed explanation, for example a chapter like TDS or a chapter like PGBP, we borrow the recording from the full course. We take that part of the recording from the full course, so that there is no cutting down of explanation. So that much portion we cannot cut down on the explanation. Chapter like TDS, chapter like PGBP, chapter like transfer pricing, chapter like NRI taxation, we cannot be cutting down on any explanation. Otherwise, the crash course will become very, very unfair. See, as a teacher, I suggest to go for the full course, but then there are students who still want crash course. So I still have to be fair to them. And for this reason, I am going to be taking the important concepts in detail from the full course. However, the not so important topics, the less important topics, what we do is, we take our CA final handwritten book, Exemption. My handwritten book ka name is Exemption because my students get more exemptions than any other person, any other class or faculty across the country. Attempt after attempt after attempt. In my marketing pamphlet, I only write the marks of direct tax of my students. If a student is getting a rank, the student has performed good in all the subjects, and obviously the real credit goes to the student. So claiming the credit of rank of a student, I don't know to what extent it is appropriate, but as far as my subject is concerned, if my student is getting an exemption, then somewhere we very happily tell the whole world that we have more exemptions than anybody else. And therefore, to keep the positivity, the name of my handwritten revision book is Exemption. So what I am going to do is, I will be opening the PDF of that handwritten book and I will be explaining that part from the PDF, the less important part from the PDF of the handwritten book. So it is advisable that when you are studying for the crash course, at least you should be having that handwritten book called Exemption. This is the only book and the first book and the only book in the country that contains the topics along with the latest trending memes. Any latest trend you see on social media, we will incorporate in that book to keep the book very, very entertaining as well as educative. We have both objectives, and therefore we are going to cover everything from the PDF as far as the less important topics are concerned. If you ask, sir, what study material will be given, if that is your next question, anybody who takes our full course, we give hard copy of 5 books. 5 books will be available to you in hard copy along with your full course, free of cost if you are going for the full course. So the first book is theory book, detailed coverage of entire theory of your syllabus in simple language and wherever required in direct language. As I said, we do 420 to 430 questions in class itself. So there is the first question answer book which we use in class. We call it the class Q&A book. That book is also given. Highest coverage of MCQs across the country, 30% of your paper is MCQs. So we do the MCQs also as a separate booklet. It is available. That book will also be given to anybody taking full course. Then as far as the descriptive, the subjective questions are concerned, that also you randomly open any page of ICAI study material, RTP, MTP, etc. Every question that has been put anywhere by ICAI, I have covered everything in this additional question bank. So the number of questions here and the number of questions here are almost same. So while we practice 50% of the questions in class, you have equal number of questions for your extra practice. This book will also be provided to you along with your full course, that is your additional question bank. We will be providing you that book as well. And the last book, the revision book, handwritten book, colored book with memes, exemption. These 5 books are given to any student who goes for our full course, but our full course has 3 variants. 1 view at 5,000, 1.5 views at 10,000 and 2 views at 14,500. As the price of the first product is too less in that 5,000 variant, unfortunately, we can give only the ebooks. In that product, unfortunately, I am not in a position that I can give you book. The book ka cost almost goes to 2.5 to 3,000 rupees, and for this reason, it is very difficult for me to give the books to you, the hard copy at least and the dispatch also I only do for the students. So even if you understand in the 10,000 product, we first have to pay GST, then we have the book cost, then we have the app cost, we have the technical team cost, we have the website cost, we have the admin cost. At the end of the day, even in the 10,000 products, sometimes we get a feeling that, bro, are we doing some social work or charity? But to give the best possible education to the students at the best affordable price, we have kept the pricing too low compared to others. So 5,000, 10,000, 14,500, but only in the 5,000 product, we will not be able to give you hard copy. We will be giving you only the ebooks. The remaining 1.5 views and 2 views, you will be getting the hard copy of 5 books as well. So these 5 books, if you go through them, believe me, dear students, you take it as challenge, promise or guarantee. You do not have to touch a single other book. No need to touch any book. Everything that you want will be covered here, whether it is your subjective questions, whether it is your MCQs or whether it is your revision, or everything will be taken care of is the kind of coverage that we are doing. 5 books will be given to you. As far as the crash course is concerned, the pricing of the crash course is much lower than the full course, obviously, and therefore, unfortunately, we are not able to give you any. We will not be able to give you any hard copy. Yes, all the 5 books to anybody taking the crash course, all the 5 books will be given in e-format, soft copy, non-printable, protected, encrypted PDF format will be given to you, ebooks. But when you are watching the lecture in one device, then obviously in the same device, it becomes difficult to open the PDF. So what we always recommend our students is that even if you are purchasing the crash course, when you will go and buy the crash course on the website, you will find various options. Only crash course. You can buy only the question answer course. Supposingly you want to only practice the question answer. So you have this option also, only question answer. So only crash, only question answer and crash plus question answer combo. 3 video lecture variants are available and all the 3 are with books and without books. So you have only crash with ebooks, the lowest price. Then only crash with the books, then the cost of books will be added. Ebooks will be with the course, but hard copy has to be purchased. Likewise, only question answer video lecture with ebooks or only question answer with hard copy. If you take question answer with hard copy, we will be giving you this class book, because this is the book which we use in that question answer course. So this one book will be given to you free of cost if you purchase with hard copy. Otherwise, you can separately buy the full set of 5 books. That is also an option available. And then you can take crash plus Q&A again with ebooks. Then all the 5 books will be given to you. Or with hard copy, which we separately just add the cost of the books. It is as simple as that. So in full course, except 5,000 product, we will be giving you hard copy of all the 5 books, but in crash course, we will be giving you only the e-books. But I strongly recommend that you should be buying the set of 5 books, because all the 5 books have their own relevance and importance. If one book was sufficient to take care of everything, I will not be making 5 books, as you understand. So I suggest that you should be going for all the 5 books. So my recommendation, if you take it, it should be crash with question answer and with the hard copy. But of course, I am giving you multiple options. Whichever you want, you can take. To be very honest, if any student is strictly following my instruction, then you will not be even asking for the crash course. You will directly be saying, sir, I want the full course. But I leave this choice to you. Anybody who wants any guidance with respect to this, sir, this is my problem, sir, I have time shortage, or I have this shortage or that shortage, what you can do is, you will see the number of our admin team flashing on the ticker below. I'm still writing it: 709-709-6161, 709-709-6161. You can just WhatsApp on this number that I need some guidance, I am confused about full course or crash course. If you want any guidance, you WhatsApp on this number 709-709-6161, and whenever I am available, whenever I am in office, I am available. At that time, somebody from office will call you, and you can talk to me also with respect to that, to get more clarity about what is suitable for you, full course or crash course. So WhatsApp on this number, the team will give you a time when I will be available. At that time, you can call on this number, or I will be calling the number. So I will personally make you understand of what is more beneficial for you. Anybody who wants to talk to me can simply send a WhatsApp on this number, and I will be giving you the time at which you can speak to me. So this is about the difference between full course and crash course. And one more time I say this, please, if you were to take my opinion, this year, considering the amendments that have taken place, a massive change in the law, it is strongly and heavily recommended that you should be going for the full course only. However, now that we have decided to start our crash course, let us, without wasting time, go to the very first chapter in the crash course, Introduction to Income Tax. In this introduction chapter, I first introduce the course. I first introduce everything about the course in the full course lecture, and then the last part of the introduction is discussing the tax rates applicable for your exam year. So I will be discussing all the tax rates of old regime as well as new regime, and with this we will be able to solve any question on tax calculation in any of the chapters. So what we do is that in the introduction itself, we finish tax rates of all assessees, both old regime as well as new regime. The old regime has not undergone any change at all, and therefore we will do it very quickly from the PDF. However, substantial changes have taken place in the new regime. So as I already told you in the introduction, one part of the lecture, that part which has massive changes, which requires detailed explanation, that video we will be borrowing from our full course lectures. But yes, right now we will be doing old regime from the PDF itself. So let us see what do we have as far as the old regime is concerned. According to section 231, definition of person obviously includes individual, HUF, firm, company, AOP, BOI, local authority, artificial juridical person. We will be doing tax rates of all of them. The tax rates we will be learning obviously for previous year 24-25, that is assessment year 25-26, applicable for May 25 as well as November 25 CA final exams. First, let's talk about individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, because they all have slab rates, and because they have slab rates, in fact the slab rates of HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP are same as individual of the first category non-senior citizen. So let us see what are the common slabs. The basic tax rate for any individual who is less than 60 years, that is less than 60, that is 0 to 59, because the moment you touch 60, not greater, equal to 60 is also a senior citizen, for which separate rates are given. If you are a non-resident, then also these rates will apply, because the category is not senior citizen, it is resident senior citizen, it is resident super senior citizen. At 60 and 80, it has to be resident. So all non-residents will also come in this category. So anybody 0 to 59 will come in this category. Anybody who is non-resident irrespective of age will come in this category. And HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP also have the same rates. Up to 2,50,000, it is going to be your basic exemption. So 0%. From 250 to 5 lakh, 5%. 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%. And more than 10 lakh, 30%. And we very well at CA final level understand that all we have to do is take income exceeding 10 lakh. Supposingly your income is 12 lakh. So that 2 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500, which is the tax that you get in these three brackets. Here you get 0, here you get 12,500, and you get 1 lakh here. So till 10 lakh, your tax is always fixed at 1 lakh 12,500, and then you simply have to apply 30% on the excess. However, if you are a resident 60 to 79, because exact 80 will make you the next category, super senior citizen. If you are a resident individual who is a senior citizen, resident 60 to 79. So this is resident 0 to 59 and non-resident any age. This is resident 60 to 79. We give you higher basic exemption. First 3 lakh there will be 0% tax. Then only on 2 lakh we will apply 5%. And the rest of it is same. 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%. Above 10 lakh, 30%. And like how we always do this tax calculation, the fixed tax here comes to 0, 10,000 and 1 lakh. And accordingly, the tax calculation is excess over 10 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh 10,000, just like we have 1 lakh 12,500 here. And the last category, resident super senior, very senior citizen, only and only if you are resident and if you are 80 and above. So it is 0 to 59, 60 to 79 if resident, 80 and above if resident. Senior citizen and super senior citizen only and only and only if they are resident. Super senior citizen will have basic exemption of rupees 5 lakh. But after 5 lakh, they will also pay tax at 20% like any other assessee. So here they will have 1 lakh rupees, and then of course after 10 lakh, 30% like any other assessee. So in short, your calculation for them is going to be excess over 10 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh. So first category it is 1 lakh 12,500, second category it is 1 lakh 10,000, and third category it is 1 lakh. Till 10 lakh we have fixed amount of tax, and the excess over it you can apply 30%. However, the above rates obviously that are given to you are basic tax rates of normal incomes. There are certain incomes taxable at special rates covered in chapter 12, ranging from section 110 to section 115 BBJ, which will be covered obviously in other chapter. This will cover your stock market capital gains undergone massive change, long-term capital gain undergone massive change, your casual winnings of 30%, your online games of 30%, all those special rates will be covered separately. So what we have to do is we have to segregate our total income into two parts. Normal income will be taxable at the given slabs as applicable to you, and special incomes will be taxable at special rates. But whatever you have calculated is only the basic tax. From basic tax, you will be eligible for rebate, reduction in your tax liability. Rebate you will reduce from tax. See, don't make the mistake of reducing it from NTTI, because from NTTI we subtract exemptions and deductions. Rebate will be subtracted from basic tax provided you fulfill three conditions. Resident, individual, income less than or equal to 5 lakh, less than or equal to. So at exact 5 lakh also you are going to be eligible for rebate. Resident, individual, income up to 5 lakh, not exceeding 5 lakh, less than or equal to 5 lakh. So check your income. If your income is up to 5 lakh, you will be eligible for rebate. How much rebate, sir? Actual tax that you must have calculated as per the above slabs or special rate. Actual tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. Actual tax or 12,500, whichever is lower, is going to be your rebate from the above basic tax. If you are resident, individual, income up to 5 lakh. Resident, individual, income up to 5 lakh, then you will be eligible for rebate. However, for rich assessees, there is going to be surcharge, and surcharge comes for all, whether you are individual, HUF, AOP, BOI or AJP. In fact, later we will learn for firms and companies also there is surcharge. So rebate is only for individual, but surcharge is for all assessees. And second, rebate is only for residents and surcharge is for all assessees. So for rebate we have three conditions: resident, individual, income up to 5 lakh. Resident, individual, income up to 5 lakh. But for surcharge we have only one condition: if your income exceeds the amount that they have given. If your income is greater than 50 lakh up to 1 crore, there will be 10% surcharge. But for firms and companies, it comes after 1 crore. That we will discuss later. For individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, 0 to 50 lakh, no surcharge. Greater than 50 lakh up to 1 crore, 10%. Greater than 1 crore up to 2 crore, 15%. greater than 2 crore up to 5 crore 25% and greater than 5 crore 37. So at 40 lakhs no surcharge, 80 lakhs 10%, 1 crore 50 lakh 15%, 2 crore 50 lakh 25%, 3 crore 50 lakh still 25, 450 still 25, but 550 will make it 37. So your total income will decide which surcharge is applicable to you. At 0 to exact 50 lakh, there will be no surcharge. When your income is greater than 50 lakh, there is going to be surcharge, and this percentage will be applied obviously on your basic tax liability. So whatever is your basic tax, you enhance it by 10, 15, 25, 37, whatever is applicable based on what is your total income. On the basis of your total income, you can apply your surcharge. However, the 25 and 37% surcharge, only the 25 and 37 will not be applicable to the following incomes. If you have stock market short-term capital gain under section 111, stock market long-term capital gain under section 112, any other long-term capital gain under 112. So stock market is 111A, 112A, 111A, 112A, but other LTCG is 112, which means LTCG will always come at special rate. Stock market other, but short term will come in special rate only if it is stock market. Short term outside of stock market is going to be considered as normal rate. Dividend income also and capital gains earned by FIIs, foreign institutional investors, under section 115 AD. Now, full course is for first timers, so I have to tell them a little about FIIs. Later we will learn in the chapter special rates of tax, but as I said, crash course is generally recommended for someone who is learning for the second time, and therefore FIIs, as you are aware, in special rates of tax there is a special section for them. FIIs are covered under section 115 AD. They also have special rate of tax on their capital gain. So this surcharge of 25 and 37 is not going to be applied on the tax that you calculate on these incomes. In other words, other than these incomes, you check your other income. So my total income will cover these incomes and other income like salary, house property, PGBP, short term normal, because these are all special rates. So short term normal is also there, no non-stock market. Any general IFOS other than dividend, take other income and these incomes separate. On these incomes, we will never apply 25 and 37. Never apply. Even if my total is 50 crore, 500 crore or 1000 crore, on these incomes, the maximum surcharge will be 15%. It cannot be 25 or 37. So 25 and 37 will apply only to your salary income, house property income. That other income ka total, if that is crossing 2 crore, then only that much part will go to 25, and if that is crossing 5 crore, then only that much part will go to 37%. So what we have to do is separate our NTTI into two parts. These incomes, other incomes. These incomes, other incomes. 25 and 37 will be applicable only on the figure of that other income. That other income ka figure should be more than 2 crore for 25% and more than 5 crore for 37%. On these incomes, we will never apply 25 and 37. We will never apply. For 25 and 37, we will always check the figure of other incomes. Is that clear? Okay. And of course, anybody who has purchased the crash course, you have any doubt, so doubt solving is available on WhatsApp to anybody who buys full course or crash course, but you get reply within a period of 48 hours. Don't worry, your reply will come within 48 hours. So these are surcharge rates applicable to all individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. But if AOP, BOI is a corporate AOP, you know, association of only companies, only corporate members, then maximum surcharge will be 15. In other words, 25 and 37 will not be applicable to these people. If the AOP has only corporate members, then 25 and 37 will not be applicable. While we have calculated this surcharge, we are also going to be eligible for something called marginal relief. Sometimes you have crossed the surcharge threshold by a small margin. For example, I will talk about two assessees, assessee 1, assessee 2. Assessee 1 has got net taxable total income of exact 1 crore. So his surcharge is going to be 10%, exact 1 crore, 10%. And assessee 2 has got 1 crore and 5,000. And therefore, your surcharge, because your income is greater than 1 crore, your surcharge will be 15%. Do you understand? This case is a case of 10% surcharge. This case is a case of 15% surcharge based on their NTTI. The difference in income of these two assessees is only 5,000. Everyone agrees to the fact that 2 has earned only 5,000 more than 1. If you check the difference in the total income, it is only rupees 5,000. But there will be massive difference in tax because this surcharge will be 10%, this will be 15%. Let us see how. First, we will calculate basic tax. See, basic tax, you apply the slabs, you will get it at 1 crore. For assuming the first category of individual, you will get 28,12,500, and at 1 crore 5,000, you will get 28,14,000. If you observe the difference here, this difference is 1,500 rupees because there is difference in income of 5,000. Simple arithmetic this is. There is difference in income of 5,000. That 5,000 will be taxable at a rate of 30%. So when you apply 30% on 5,000, you will get the difference of 1,500. That difference is already visible in the tax liability. It is 12,500 here and 14,000. Obviously, the tax of 2 has to be more than 1. Agreed. But the difference in income is only 5,000. Don't forget that. Now we will add surcharge. Here surcharge will come on this amount and here surcharge will come on this amount. Accordingly, your basic tax plus surcharge here will become 30,93,750 and here it is 32,36,100 because of this massive surcharge. So now do you understand that the difference in tax in these two assessees is 1,42,350. Check the difference here. 1,42,350. But the difference in income is only 5,000. Somewhere this assessee is wondering, I have earned only 5,000 more. If my income is only 5,000 more than 1, how can my tax be so different? Because of 5,000, how can you take 142,350 from me? And therefore, the concept of marginal relief says, in one line I am explaining the concept. Talent hai bro, talent. The difference in tax cannot be more than the difference in income. I repeat, you can record this line. The difference in tax cannot be more than the difference in income. The difference in tax cannot be more than difference in income. Do you understand this? And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we will restrict this difference to 5,000. If this is 30,93,750, then this can be maximum 30,98,750. The difference cannot be more than 5,000. But we already have 32,36,100 here. We have 32,36,100, but we want to keep only 30,98,750. So we will have to subtract an amount of 137,350, and the amount which we are subtracting, this amount of 137,350 is going to be considered as your marginal relief. Marginal relief. And of course, after giving rebate, if applicable, and after adding surcharge, if applicable, all assessees have to always pay something called Health and Education Cess, HEC, which will be always applicable at 4%. At 4% of what? Start with basic tax, give rebate if applicable, do surcharge if applicable, do everything that you have done till now, and on that second last amount, we add 4% to get our last amount. Of course, after adding cess, what you get is tax liability. If there are prepaid taxes, TDS, advance tax, then you adjust them and then you get final amount payable or refundable. See, please understand, institute is going to play with words. You got to understand the difference between liability and payable. My tax liability is 1 lakh on the basis of basic surcharge rebate cess. But I have TDS of 1,05,000. If the question is asking liability, my answer will be 1 lakh. If the question is asking payable, then my answer will be minus 5,000 because I am getting refund of 5,000. So be very careful whether they are asking you liability or payable. On that basis, give your answer. After doing basic, rebate, surcharge, cess, you get your liability. Before doing all this, don't do your TDS advance tax in between. First finish all this, get your liability. Then go and check your prepaid taxes, which can have advance tax, TDS, TCS, anything. adjust them, and you'll get your final answer, payable or refundable. Be very careful about these words. Institute is of late asking this in a lot of cases. So this was old taxation regime of individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI and AJP. We have some more assessees in the old regime. We have firm car rates, we have cooperative society, we have domestic companies, non-domestic company, but they require detailed explanation. And then of course the new taxation regime, I will show you this PDF. It has undergone changes, with one hand gesture. She has shown the world what she is going to do in the coming days. हाँ, तो ऐसा ही है bro. Quite a few memes here in the book, of course, but whatever is the remaining explanation of this chapter introduction, it is a detailed explanation, and therefore we will be taking it from the full course. That portion. One more time before I wind up this first part, I want to tell you this very, very clearly, that please, ladies and gentlemen, go for the full course. And if you really want to now see the difference between full course and crash course, now that you have watched the first part, the part 2 and part 3 of this lecture will be the full course part only, because I want to do detailed explanation in that. Also, the first 6 lectures of my full course are already uploaded on YouTube. First 6 lectures of the full course. So when you go through that full course, you will understand that whatever I have explained to you here in half an hour, I have taken about 5 hours to do this discussion, especially that surcharge part, the marginal relief part, in the full course. Because full course gives me the privilege, the freedom, the luxury of going into the detailed depth of every particular point. But final choice is yours. I have explained everything possible. In case you still have queries, WhatsApp on the office number 709-709-6161, and at the available time I am going to speak to you personally to make you understand what is best suitable for you. We also do mentorship on a one-to-one basis for students who are stuck in a particular subject or at a particular level of CA or anywhere in commerce from class 11 to professional degree. For that mentorship also, you can fill up the form on our website www.ssproeducare.com. Right now, if you observe on the ticker, you will get to see the contact number and the website URL, so you can fill up the Google form for getting mentorship benefit. And I will see you guys in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye. Take care.